In this After Effects tutorial, I want to talk about the pen tool. You see, in the previous videos, we've been creating masks and interpolating masks, but I haven't quite explained how to do a custom contoured mask. And we do that using the pen tool. Let's get to it. Here in After Effects, I'm going to create a new composition. That's Controller Command N. I'll leave all of the defaults. And now I'll create a solid. That's Controller Command Y. And blue is good, so it's all good. With the layer selected, I'm going to grab the pen tool. And now this is how the pen tool works. If you just click, 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 you create corners. But if you click and drag, you're dragging handles out of those corners. Let's see how those work. Click, 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 and we get corners. There is no curve to be found. I'll undo all of those. Look what happens if I just click and now click and drag to the right. You see how now I'm creating a little mound? And if I press and hold Shift as I drag, I constrain that motion to be side to side. Now, click back down. Now click and drag to the right. Click back down. Click and drag to the right and click. Right? So when you click and drag to the right, you're creating these handles. And this is how the handles work. If I just click on one of them, do you see how by default this handle controls this curve? That's called the influence, right? This handle controls that curve, and they work with an inverse relationship. When one side goes down, the other one goes up, just to maintain that relationship between the curves. Now, if I press and hold Control as I drag one of the handles, I am breaking the relationship between the handles, and I have the selection tool active or selected. See? Now the two handles are independent from each other. That's called Bezier. And when they work together, that's called continuous Bezier. And there is a convert Vertex tool that converts the curve into a corner and the corner into a curve simply by using it. And it's this like upside down V looking thing. It's just called Convert Vertex tool. And then I can use it to break the relationship between the curves, and I can bring it back. And there you go. And I just switched to my selection tool. All right, so I want you to practice doing these. I'm going to select the mask now, and I'm going to delete it. And I want you to practice it as follows. Click, click and drag to the right, click, click and drag to the right, click, click and drag to the right, click, so that your hand starts getting used to where the curve goes and what it looks like. I'm going to undo this again, and now click, click and drag to the left, click, click and drag to the left, click, click and drag to the left, click. Making sense? All right, you can also combine these. For example, you could go click, click and drag down, click, click and drag down, click, click and drag down, click. You can also click and drag up, click, click and drag up, click, click and drag up, click. And now you can go click, click and drag to the right, click and drag up, click and drag down, click and drag to the left, click and drag down, and you can start seeing, and this knowledge gets in your hand, so you no longer have to think about it, and you can start seeing what the curves are doing and where they are going. And sometimes you don't need a curve, just click, don't drag. And sometimes you do need the curve, so click and drag in the appropriate direction. If you want to close this mask, just click back on the first point, and then this is where you actually create the transparency that we were talking before in the previous videos. So you can do anything you want with this. You can interpolate it. You can combine it with other ones. You can do whatever it is. And I use the pen tool in every single one of my projects. for rotoscoping, for masking, for a content-aware fill, for whatever it is, and it's all based on this pen tool. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.